Hi, everybody. Alan Rodriguez here, founder of Law Innovation Agency 1400. So as the 1400 team gets started working on your project, I wanted to put together this quick video to talk a little bit about branding, because I think branding is one of these things that can really accelerate the growth of your business. So I think it's something that is worth a discussion. Now, the thing about branding is that we can go on, in talking about brand strategies, brand personas, that sort of thing. And the point of this video is really just to kind of give you a better understanding of how it's going to impact your growth in a positive way, but not necessarily to be very comprehensive. So I'm going to try and keep it short, but it is a big subject with lots of examples to share. But with that said, I'll just kind of go into the importance of branding and how it'll help you grow. And so one thing, maybe we should talk about the definition first, right? So branding, I like to think of branding as that thing that people say about your business when you're not in the room, right? And just like in real life, they can say very positive things about your business, which would, help with word of mouth referrals, positive reviews, and other, positive things happening to your business. Or they can say negative things about your business, right? Which would eliminate the word of mouth reviews, and then, God forbid, like some negative review on a public site, right? Like Yelp or Avvo or something like that. So, branding is one of these things that I think we should be intentional about. The other thing is that I want to say about branding is, if you're not a brand, you're a commodity, right? And here's the thing about commodities is that when it comes to commodity, the only winner of that battle is price, right? And the lowest price producer, So that's not really what you're trying to create here, though. We're trying to help you grow a successful, thriving business. And so you really don't want to be the commodity in that experience, right? And I think where this really kind of reveals itself is when you take a look at, say, bottled water, right? So when it comes to bottled water, it's just a commodity. It's H2O. It's universally the same formula everywhere, right? So what keeps people from just buying the lowest price solution? Well, that's branding, right? So when you walk into a convenience store and you go to that cooler that sells water, you'll see all these different options, and you'll see some very expensive ones and some very low cost ones. For some people, they have a practical approach. They are just price sensitive. They want the commodity. But brands like Fiji and Voss and these other water brands, Perrier, right? They've done a very good job of branding their water to command a higher price. But at the end of the day, it's all the same kind of product. So the example in law would be a business formation service. An LLC formation is just an LLC formation, right? It's a commodity. That piece of work is a commodity. But the experience, the helping guide the person to the right business entity, helping them to understand that the value is in, the operating agreement, not so much the business formation service itself. All of those are part of a brand story that needs to be told to be able to command a higher price, right? So that's the role branding is going to play in helping you grow your business. So what are the key elements? So again, I'm going to try and keep this short, but let me tell you this. If you have any questions about any of these key elements or any of the information that I'm sharing in this video, just let your account manager know, and we'll set up some one-to-ones with the appropriate team members at the 1400 team, and we'll take a deeper dive on this, So it's not something that you have to take in all at once, kind of start thinking about this, think about these elements, and then let's have a bigger discussion, about how you could develop a better brand, within your law firm, right? Okay, so there are 5 key elements. The first of which is brand positioning or differentiation, right? So if you're an estate planning attorney, for example, then estate planning attorneys try to differentiate themselves by saying, well, I went to a tier 1 school or tier 2 school, whatever, right? Law school is one of them. Years of experience tends to be the other. Maybe geographic location tends to be another. But those really aren't the ways to kind of truly differentiate yourself from somebody else. And I'll give you an example. We're working with somebody now, Regnum Legacy. This attorney was actually on a path towards becoming a Catholic priest, but they found that their true calling was law, and in law they like practicing estate planning. Through some discussions with his business coach and then with us, what we thought, a really great point of differentiation is, what if this attorney was the Catholic lawyer, right? Like a fifth of the United States population are Catholics, or about 70 million Catholics. Being the Catholic lawyer allows this person to really kind of stand out. I mean, the way they make money is through estate planning services. But being the Catholic lawyer kind of speaks to the community that they serve, the vernacular he may use, during that experience, kind of tying in with the values of that particular audience, and really sets himself apart from other kind of estate planning attorneys. And so if a Catholic looking for estate planning services saw that two different law firms all being equal, I can tell you they're probably going to go with the Catholic lawyer more than the non-Catholic lawyer in that case, right? So that's an example. Another example is Counsel for Creators. So this is a law firm that services creative businesses. Just in the name alone, you can hear the points of differentiation. We're the Counsel for Creators. Now, they offer transactional business services and soft IP services, but again, the Counsel for Creators name tells you the audience that they serve. And if you go to their website, you'll see that it's kind of branded along those lines also. So find your points of differentiation is the key element there. So the second thing, is, think about your brand personality and communication style, right? Like this also kind of helps build trust with prospects more quickly. So you're a business formations attorney, maybe, or a business transactional attorney, let's say, but you prefer serving startups. You like working with startups. Maybe your business model includes, some upfront fees and then some equity in some of these relationships because you're an outsourced general counsel or something like that. Well, like your language probably isn't going to be very corporate-y or conservative, right? Like, you're probably going to embrace a communication style that's more consistent with technology startups or fintech startups or whatever kind of your base is. So think about your personality and communication style as well. It's a key element in your branding. Brand experience. So this is one where, oh man, this is such a great topic, but I'll give you the sum of it. Try to think about like all the ways a customer interacts with your business, right? We call this the customer journey. Like somebody that's everything from a Google search to responding to an advertisement to calling your office to receiving your retainer agreement to the next steps after they receive, you receive a signed retainer agreement. All those different ways somebody engages with your brand. Oftentimes when you look through your journey, you're going to find areas where you can optimize those encounters. So many times I've called a law firm and the other person on the other end just says law office. They don't say, thank you for calling 1-400. How may I help you? Right? Like there's just a difference in that brand experience, right? We need to create brand experiences that delight our users, that let them know that we value the relationship that we have with them. So think about your brand experience in terms of all the touch points that somebody has with your brand, from your marketing materials all the way to receiving whatever documents you need to send them, right? Email signatures, all of that. So brand identity. Here's the thing about brand identity. That's something that we're going to be helping you out with, right? That's your visual logo. In many cases we are, in some cases we're not. But your brand identity is typically the visual identity, which is your logo. Here's the thing about a logo, right? Like it's got to look great. It's got to be stellar. It's got to be timeless. It's got to have great design. But really the logo, the power in the logo is really the sum of all these other things that I'm talking about, right? So like it's really like your brand promise. It's the experience people have when engaging with your brand. It's all these other elements. So while a great visual logo is very important, just know that it's just one piece, right? Like without consistency in these other elements, then it's never going to have that same visual impact as like the Golden Arches or Coca-Cola or FedEx. These are all timeless logos because of what they stand for, not because of the design themselves, right? So I think that's real important to keep in mind. And then finally, authenticity and brand promise, right? This one's kind of a tough one, but I think when brands are able to make a consistent promise that they deliver on, that's where a brand really starts to reveal that they're trustworthy. So for example, let's say a new prospect who's never worked with the law firm before asks the question of a lawyer, like, hey, I've heard lawyers are not very communicative. If I hire you, can I expect you to be responsive? And of course, the lawyers are going to say yes. And in the lawyer's mind, maybe by responsive, they mean a callback within 72 hours. But in the prospect's mind, they're thinking like a callback the same day, maybe even within 1 hour, right? Like, we don't know. But like a brand promise in that particular example would be like, yes, we promise to be responsive. In fact, we strive to be the most responsive law firm in California. If you call our office and don't get a hold of somebody immediately, then you can expect to get a call back within 2 hours every time, right? I'm just sharing an example of like how a brand promise can also be a point of differentiation. You have to kind of figure out what it is that your brand stands for and what promises you're willing to make to your customers and come through on those promises in a consistent manner. So, those are the 5 elements of brand experience. So I'll just go over them really quickly. Brand positioning and differentiation, brand personality and communication, brand experience, brand identity, authenticity, and brand promise, right? So again, if you'd like to take a deeper dive and learn more about these subjects, just let your account manager know. We'll set up a call. We'll take a deeper dive. But I want you to start thinking about these branding elements and incorporating them into your business process, because when you do that, your marketing will be cheaper, your growth will be faster, you'll have higher satisfaction amongst, job satisfaction for you, higher satisfaction amongst your clients, and it's really going to accelerate the growth of your firm. So I hope you found this video helpful. I know we covered a lot of information, but feel free to let us know if you have any additional questions, and we're happy to address them then. You have a good day. Thanks.